Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So we are working into the garden wall again today. Got a bunch of the sky done, so after all that endless sea of light blues, we'll have different colors here for a while. And yeah, as the slope of the colors are kind of going this way, even though I normally do my diagonals the other way, I'm probably going to just follow it to some extent. I find that's just easier. So yeah, it is another very smoky day today, one of the worst in a while, in fact. Yeah, like out there it looks like somebody took a picture with a fuzzy filter or something. Yeah, the sky's basically a light brown color because it's got so much smoke. There's a air quality warning today, so yeah, I did not go for my walk outside. Stay inside and try and breathe that as little as possible. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, not much we can do about it. So, yeah, the other half is away this week. He's, working. So, and, I also don't have a running vehicle at the moment. He was going to change the struts in my vehicle, and he didn't know that with this model, with the Element, it needs a wheel alignment when you do that, because he did that when we had the old Honda CR-V. He changed the struts on it. It was no problem. But yeah, the way this one is, he said, yeah, he finished and you could see that the wheels were kind of pointing inwards a little bit, which is not what they're supposed to be doing. So yeah, he said, well, I guess I'm taking it to the shop and getting them to do it properly because, yeah, we don't want to damage anything. So unfortunately, yeah, and he was trying so hard to make sure he had it done before he left so I would have a car, and then, yeah, that didn't work out quite that well. But I said, well, our son's truck works, so, you know, if I really need a vehicle, I'll take him to school and use it and pick him up, so. And I said things are in walking distance, although, of course, yeah, today is not a day for walking with all that smoke. Because, yeah, if I was going to walk in that, I'd want to be wearing a proper, like, painter's style mask, the N95 or whatever it is, which I don't have any of those, so. I just have the regular little cloth mask, which doesn't do much for smoke, so, yeah. And I don't need anything crucial, so. And I said, I mean, even then I could still call a cab if I really needed to get somewhere, but yeah, he said it would wear the tires out really bad if we drove it like that, so yeah, we're not going to do that. Oh man, so one of our friends, he got a flat, and my husband came out to help him change it, and he wanted to drive on the donut, like, to the next town, which is like, you know, an hour away. And my husband's like, no, you better not. Like, they're not designed for that. They're designed to just keep you from being stranded, right? It's designed to get you home or get you to the tire shop. And I says, oh, okay. So he goes and he changes it. Just the one tire, he puts his winter tire on that one. The problem is the winter tire rims are a different size. So yeah, my husband's like, you really don't want to do that because he's got an all-wheel drive and that could mess up your drivetrain. But I don't know if he listened or not. So, hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, we were kind of annoyed because while he was doing the struts, my husband was going to change out the brake pads because the last time we took the car into the dealership for, I can't remember what it was, if it was a recall or something, or, oh, no, it was getting the windshield changed. That was it. Because, yeah, it was cracked and our son needed to use it to take his driver's test, and you're not allowed to do that if the windshield's cracked. So, yeah, we finally had to change it because it was badly cracked. We got a huge rock chip because we were driving to BC and big rig coming the other way, yeah, threw up a huge rock and it came right at us, and he made like a quarter-sized break on the windshield, and then eventually it all cracked from there, and it actually was basically cracked all the way around. It was not good, yeah, because it's really cold. So when it finally cracked all the way across the bottom was on a day that it was like -40, yeah. And I kind of saw it, you know, on the corner of my eye. That was like, is there something running across the dashboard, like a spider or something? And then no, it was the it was the crack going, you know, all the way to the other side. It's like, ah, oh, shoot. So yeah, but anyway, so we took it to the dealership to have that done. They told us, oh, your brake pads are worn down, there's like 2% left, you know, you got to get that done right away. So my husband ordered brake pads. Guess they assumed we were going to do it there because a lot of people do, but my husband, his dad's a mechanic, and he actually owned his own mechanic shop for quite a while. So yeah, like there is no problem with him doing the work. He knows what he's doing. So he ordered the brake pads, and he gets everything taken apart, looks, and there was still 50% of wear left on them. It's like, oh, you liars. So yeah, he was not happy. Ooh. Okay, so again, just gonna check this thread here. Yeah, that's pretty long. Unfortunately, for once, I don't have any short pieces. I may just do one stitch with this thread, tie it off, and then reattach it later, I think, when I do need it. But yeah, anyway, he wasn't happy about that. But he said, well, didn't need to change them after all, so we'll just hang on to them until we actually do need them. Yeah, I was kind of surprised when they told us it was that worn, because I thought, well, I don't drive that car that much. Like pre-pandemic, when I was still working in an office and had to drive there every day, I was putting about 6,000 kilometers on it a year, which isn't a lot, but, you know, was some. And of course, also, this was before kiddo was driving, so I had to take him to and from school as well. Because, yeah, usually what I would do is I'd drop him off at school, then drive to work, and then, yeah, at the end of the day, come and get him. But yeah, so I was putting, you know, not very much, about 500 kilometers a month, maybe. And now I only use it basically to just run errands, get groceries, that kind of thing. And yeah, because our son drives himself in his own vehicle, it's definitely not getting used even that much. So I was really surprised if they said the brakes were that worn, because I mean, I don't ride my brakes and I don't drive that car that much. So yeah, they were just exaggerating, hoping to get another sale. So yeah. You wonder how good that is actually for them, though, because if word gets around that you were exaggerating to try and make money, yeah, people might not come in as much. So, but yeah, anyway. Got an appointment to take it into the shop next week, get the alignment done, and it should be good to go. So yeah, he says next time he won't bother trying to change out the struts himself. He'll just pay them to do it at this point, because it's not really worth it. It didn't really save us much. Yeah, he does lots of stuff himself, so it generally saves us money, but you know, every now and then he runs into something that he can't do either. Ooh. Oh. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, I was in the middle of a dream cycle when my alarm went off this morning, so feeling kind of groggy. I hate that it kind of lingers. Yeah, it's the worst when you like wake up a couple hours before the alarm's supposed to go off and you actually feel not so bad, but you know, you figure a couple more hours to sleep, go back to sleep, and then when it does go off, it's like, oh, bad. You're totally out of it. Yeah. Okay. So, got a long piece there. However, there's a fair bit of this color kind of scattering around, so yeah, I think using 2 strands should not be an issue. Yeah, if I talk a little less today, that's why the smoke's really bothering my throat, unfortunately. Yeah, kiddo forgot his binder that he needed for school at home the other day. And yeah, since my car was not drivable, I couldn't run it out to him, so he had to run back. And he's like, "No, I'm gonna be late." I'm like, "Well, I hope that'll teach you to double check your bag that you have everything you need." Yeah, he had his lunch, but not his binder. Oh, there I go again. So, yeah, paler colors again here. Hopefully they show up okay for you. For a second, I thought I stitched my working thread into it there. That would not be good. Okay, I'm gonna go and park on this side here. Just because of the way the colors are going. I want the thread to be on that side, so I'm working across sort of a couple diagonals here because it's, yeah, that's just what I feel like doing. Now we'll see if this piece is actually long enough. Yeah, it's a pretty long piece. Yeah, I must have just attached it when I parked it from the pass above me. So yeah, I had to move my frame again. Pardon me. So yeah, I put up a picture on my Instagram, progress picture. So yeah, I think 21 was a bit too ambitious. 21%. But oh well. Like I often say, it was just an estimate, not a necessary goal, so. Yeah, which means I was thinking maybe 25% by the end of next month, but that might also be a bit much. I think if I was working exclusively on this project and not any on Firefly, then yeah, I would be able to get that no problem, but I do want to do some work on Firefly as well, so I'll probably be short my 1% on Firefly goal though, again, because I lost time to all the juicing. Yeah, my hands are finally almost recovered from the effects of the acidity of all that juice. I did wear gloves, but yeah, there's only so much you can do to mitigate it. You're gonna get some on your hands no matter what you do, so it takes its toll. But still had some of that prescription cream my doctor gave me the last time I had problems with the juice. That was when I didn't wear gloves at all, and I learned my lesson. Yeah, supposedly, my mom said that people who worked with pineapples a lot, like in processing factories, apparently, I don't know if it's true, but she said that she'd heard that they lose their fingerprints eventually. It's so acidic that years of exposure, that basically the fingerprints are like sandpaper and don't actually have any ridges and stuff anymore. So yeah, working with apples which aren't as acidic, it does eat at your skin, so maybe that's true. I don't know. I'll have to look it up and see. Yeah, it's one of those things they would tell you when you were a kid, and back then, when I was a kid, there wasn't any Google to confirm, so you just believed it whether it was true or not. Okay, so ecru. Ah yes, which I never took out of my working tray because there was space for it, and I knew I was going to be using it again. Oh, there I go again. Ugh. It's funny, as much as I might complain about my husband sometimes snoring and waking me up, I don't sleep as well when he's gone. Yeah, and people say, oh, now you can stretch across the whole bed. I'm like, nah, I still end up staying on my side. I'm just used to it. He says when he's away in a hotel, he ends up sleeping on his side too, even though I'm not there. Ooh. Yeah, and nobody really hugs the covers or hogs the covers in our relationship. So, well, probably helps that we have a queen bed, but we have a king size quilt. So, yeah. Yeah, when we were buying that, the salesperson was like, well, you know, are you sure you want to do that? It will look kind of messy on the bed. And I'm like, I never make my bed anyway, so I really don't care. Ugh. Yeah, the only time I actually make the bed is when I'm changing the linen. Otherwise, I cannot be bothered. I figure who's going to see it? And you're just going to undo it when you get back in the next night anyway, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, white I did put away, and I think, yeah, there's not much of it for a while. Yeah, it's wild because we're just over 600 stitches of white left. When we started, there was thousands of them. Yeah, that was all in that corner, so. Oh, you know what? I thought I didn't leave my white in my tray, but then I noticed my thread card wasn't there, and it actually was still in my tray, so that's funny. Oh, there's been sections here where it's not very many colors with the sky and stuff, so I haven't had to swap out my colors as much because there just haven't been as many color changes. Yeah, I'm doing big sections where there's only maybe half a dozen colors instead of a ton of confetti, so yeah. If I don't really need the slot, I don't bother putting it away. My husband used to say I stole the covers. He said that, like, my half would be on the, hanging off the bed on the floor, and I'd be using his half, but not so much anymore. And I said, well, when you're away, the covers are exactly how I got under them by the morning, you know? So I said, I don't know if it's me. And I said, I think what would happen is he'd get too warm and he'd push them off, and I would end up moving into the warm spot because, hey, nice and warm, right? So, yeah, I think that's what happened. But when he's not there, well, no one else is warming up the covers but me, so there's no need to steal anything. Yeah, when we were first married, it took me a while to get used to not sleeping alone. But now it's after over 20 years, yeah, it's harder to sleep when he's not there. Just so used to it. Okay, so I could park this one way up here, but I'm going to just use a scrap piece because I know I have some shorter pieces. So I'm just going to do that rather than crossing across the back more than I need to. Just uses a little less thread. I don't really care that much how my back of my work looks. Yeah. Oh man, I remember there was this viral thing that went around where a couple revealed that they don't have like assigned sides of the bed. Whoever goes to bed first sort of just takes whatever side they feel like. And yeah, like the whole internet just lost their minds because like how? Oh my gosh. Yeah, my mind was just like blown. Cause yeah, I remember when we were first married, after a few months, my husband said we should, switch sides every now and then so that the mattress wears more evenly. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll try. And after about 10 minutes, I'm like, nope, I need my side back. You have to be on the other side of me. It's just wrong. And I tell people, they're just like, oh my God, he wanted to do what? They're just horrified. And I said, I asked him, would you do that? Now he's like, no, I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Oh dear. But yeah, they said it's not just which side of you your partner is on. Like, don't you have your own stuff on your nightstand? Like your charger, maybe your reading glasses, the book you're reading. Yeah, that's just. Ugh. I sleepwalk enough. I think if I did that, I'd end up falling out of bed thinking, or trying to crawl over him because I'm going the wrong way. If we did that. Ugh. Yeah, I think my poor kiddo got it from me. Sometimes you hear him talking in his sleep. It's like, oh, sorry, dude. Yeah, I do that and I absolutely hate it. I say the weirdest stuff and it's so embarrassing. In fact, I told my husband he's not allowed to tell me in the morning because I don't want to know. Oh. But he said usually it's mostly nonsense, but he says sometimes I can get really agitated about something and it sounds very real. So, yeah. It'll be a while before he realizes I'm still asleep. Yeah. And there really isn't something critical that I forgot to do that I'm somehow in the middle of the night convinced that there is. Yeah. Yeah, and I said I sleepwalk more when he's away. Have I done something here? Oh no, I didn't. Okay. For a second. Looked like I was too close to my grid line, but I'm not. But yeah, and he said, well, probably because if you start sleepwalking when I'm here, I just kind of, guide you back to going back to sleep. And when he's not here, yeah. But I don't know, the last couple times he went away, it didn't really happen. Because, yeah, I had a couple times I sort of woke up in the hallway and I was like, what am I doing here? Because I don't need to go down the hall to use the bathroom. We have our own little ensuite. Yeah, it's just a two-piece, but yeah, nice to have. Especially in the middle of the night. Oh. Yeah, he wanted to put a shower in there, but there's just no room. It'd be like showering in a tube or something. Wouldn't even be able to stretch your arms out. So I said, nah. Yeah, we want to have a second bathroom downstairs eventually. It's one of those rental projects that just takes a long time. Yeah. We survived. Even my husband's sister was living with us for about a year. Because, yeah, she came from another province, so she stayed with us for a while till she got established. And so it was 4 of us to 1 shower, and we managed to make it work. So, yeah. Yeah, she's actually moved out of the country now. Yeah. Yeah, she was a good housemate to have. Yeah. We got along well, so. Oh, what have I done? Oh, I missed one there. Okay, that's what was looking different. Uh-huh. I missed the yellow one there. That's what it was. Okay. Well, what I can do, actually, is, so if this one is not done, I can do this first. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Travel this up. was planning to do it anyway after I did that other color, but do this first so there's no closing anything in. Yeah, I can tell we have quite a lot of the garden wall left because there's still over 3,000 stitches of this yellow here. Okay, there we go. So now I can do that stitch. So we're at 20%, 20.20. So yeah. Because yeah, to get to 21%, that would be over 2,000 stitches. So yeah, I think I bit off more than I can chew. I overestimated, even with all the big blocks of color here. That's just not gonna happen, I think. Yeah, it was funny talking about sides of the bed, and my sister said they went camping and her husband was like, you know, we should sleep with our feet at the other side. I don't remember why, for some reason. And she says, yeah, but then if we do that, we have to switch side because obviously you have to be on the other side of me. Otherwise it's just wrong. So yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny because I chose my side of the bed was on our honeymoon, and I said, oh, I'll just take this one. It's closer to the bathroom because he can sleep the whole night, not have to get up, and I have to get up at least once, often twice. So yeah, and then it just sort of got, that was what stuck. So but actually it works well too now, I realized, because I cannot stand the feeling of like air moving across my face. So if he was facing me and breathing on my face, that would drive me totally nuts. So I sleep like 90% of the night on my left side. So that way my back is to him and then I don't have him breathing on my face because yeah, I just cannot stand it. In the summer, I don't like fans either because of that. The movement of the air keeps me awake. So sometimes he wants one, so we have to have it pointing where it's only getting the breeze across his side of the bed and none of it on me, because yeah. Pardon me. Yeah, that was a joke. Somebody was saying like the most unrealistic thing in movies is the couple can sleep with the same amount of covers and, you know, nobody's complaining that it's too hot or too cold. Yeah, I even saw they had like mattress pads that could either be hot or cool depending on what you wanted, and that there was one where it was divided in half and each half had its own controller, because yeah, chances are people are not going to want the same. Yeah, my husband doesn't mind getting into a cold bed. He says it's refreshing, and I'm just like, no, I always dread when I have to. Although it's not so bad since we changed our duvet cover to a flannel, fuzzy flannel one. It's not so cold to the touch. Pardon me, my gosh, that smoke. Oh, yeah, our old duvet cover. I don't know what the material was, but it would warm up once you had it on you for a while, but it was really cool when you first got under the covers. And yeah, I always dreaded it. Actually, sometimes it was pretty sweet. If he got to bed first, he would lie down on my side and then move over once I got in, so then it was nice and warm. Yeah. It's like, aw. I said, yeah, I don't need, you know, to be serenaded off the balcony or anything. Those gestures, they mean so much. So I said following the direction of this color, but it's kind of interesting. The stitching itself kind of runs in that direction, so. But the outer edge is going to slant the other way, so I'm going to do that, even though it does mean a little bit of closing in of stitches. But as I've said before, I find trying to force it to go the same direction or the opposite direction of the way the colors are going is just ends up being more work. So I'll go with the flow. This piece is not that long. I think I'm going to keep it for just a few stitches here. Let's see how long this piece is again. Somewhat. May do a bunch. And then cross them. Yeah, when I stitched cross country and I did the whole color, all of one color on the page at once, I sometimes would end up with dozens and dozens of half crosses and then go back and cross them all at the end. I don't do that as much with my parking method, but sometimes it works out that way. So that's what I'm going to do here. Oh, we're at 100 stitches even so far. Completed. I think that one might not have gone down precisely the right spot. So I'm going to try that again. There we go. It could also just be that it was, oh, I forgot to do the last one. Haha. All right, that's okay. It could also just be that it was going over the grid line, so it looked like it was, that leg was a little too long. We'll see. But I just thought I'd fix it just in case. So yeah, like I said, I hope this lighter color here shows up well enough for you to see it. Yeah, unfortunately, there's just a lot of light colors in this sort of top third of the whole piece. We'll have darker ones for most of the rest of it, so they should show up well. Yeah, like I said, I can't wait to get to the tail feathers. They'll be very nice and bright. Okay, so I think I'm going to go to the edge of this yellow here, and these other colors here I'm going to set aside for a little bit later. So, okay. lots of little pieces here. Yeah, so my son's school had an open house to sort of kick off the school year. Parents could come and meet their kids' teachers. They basically did a mock day, but just, little 10-minute intervals. So you went to your kids', first period class and then to the next one, that kind of thing. And so that meant I finally got to see the school since they did an expansion. And yeah, the new computers and science labs look really cool. Yeah. And they expanded the library. They almost doubled its size, I think. And my husband was looking around saying, wow, they don't have very many books. I said, well, probably they haven't had a chance to fill up the new space yet, Yeah. This was probably the books they had in the original size of the library, and now, yeah, they're going to have to fill it up. Oh, yeah, I said we went to lots of different schools when I was a kid because we moved around a lot. So, yeah, I think I read through the entire libraries of at least the fiction section of more than one school at the time. Because, yeah, not all of them had the biggest budget, so. Yeah, I was a big rereader, too, when I was a kid. Not so much now. There's just too many books and not enough time. If I reread a book, then yeah, it means it was really, really good. Yeah, every now and then I kind of periodically go through my shelves and check which books I kept and go, okay, am I really going to read that one again or not? Yeah, there's some of them too. I'll look at it and go, so I chose to keep this, but I can't remember anything about what it's about. I even have to go on Goodreads to see if I wrote my thoughts down. I don't review a lot, but every now and then I do write a review, or at least just a few little notes to myself so I can remember. But yeah, I generally don't write a review unless I feel really passionate about a book. Okay. Oh, darn. Yeah, I had a feeling that had slipped a little bit. And when I pulled on it, I lost it. Needle came right off. So yeah, that uses up that thread nicely. I'm probably going to add another though soon. Oops. Try to just pick up one needle at a time. Yeah, so like I said, my husband's been on the road quite a bit this year. So yeah, we're hoping for a more relaxing winter. Because yeah, all the stuff that was put off since the pandemic started It's finally all happening now. So yeah, he's been gone like about a third of the time, which he hasn't enjoyed. It seems like he just gets home and he's got to go again, yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, his kind of work, you can only do so much remotely. Some of it just has to be hands-on. You can't install equipment remotely. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So yeah, because it's kind of coming into a closing in shape. So yeah, I do some along this edge and then some along this edge, and they kind of converge. Yeah, that's just the way I stitch. I adapt to the way the colors flow. When I was doing my Sulfa Mediterranean Tranquility, there were pillars, columns on the edges, so yeah, it ended up being basically vertical stitching for that part. Mm. Try to remove the little trimmed ends, but sometimes they stick around. Yeah, so normally this time of the year we're having the premieres for fall shows, but because of the strike, yeah, there's nothing. Which kind of sucks, but I mean, I understand why they're striking, and I'm in support of it, so. Well, these days, we're not limited by cable, so, yeah. I got a whole list of stuff to stream while I'm waiting. And stuff on DVD, too. So, yeah, I'm not gonna run out. Well, like I said, I'm watching Supernatural, and I'm only 4 seasons in, and there's a lot more to go, so. There's over 300 episodes of that show, so that should keep me busy for a while, I should think. Yeah, we bought The Magicians on DVD because for a while the first 4 seasons were on Prime, and they never put the 5th season up, so I was annoyed. Because I expected them to, because sort of we watched the first 3, and then they put the 4th one up. And then, yeah, the 5th one never came up, and I think they took them all down now. I'm not sure if they still have them. Oh, look at that. I missed a stitch. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this color, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's all right. I'm going to unpark it. Just do it now. There. We'll pretend we remembered to do it all along. Yeah, so that's one reason why I still like buying stuff on DVD, because they can decide to take stuff down when you're in the middle of watching it, and that's really annoying. Sometimes with no warning. Yeah, like I was watching Castle a couple of years ago, and I was about 2/3 of the way through it, and then it was like, oh, it was leaving Prime in, 2 weeks. It's like, oh, man. So I still had like 3 seasons left. Oh. So I binged my way through it, and then it turned out they actually didn't take it down. They kept threatening every month that by the end of the month it would be gone, and then it was still there. And it was taken down finally after about the 4th or 5th month, so I could have watched it more leisurely, but anyway. Yeah, and then they took it down, and then it was gone for a couple of months, and now it's all back again, so it's, yeah, it's all over the darn place. Yeah. Or they do stuff like Paramount was making a big deal that they're, Paramount Plus was the only home of all the Star Trek. Well, Prodigy's not there because they canceled that show for some kind of tax break or something, and so yeah. So it's like there are 4 lights moment. If you are a Star Trek fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. That, yeah, this has all the Trek. It's like, yeah, all the Trek, except the one that you just are trying to pretend never existed. Yeah. Like, it wasn't really my thing. I watched it because it's Star Trek, and I'll watch anything Star Trek to see how it goes. And my husband liked it. Son liked it. I was kind of ambivalent about it, but whatever. But yeah, I think it's a pretty rotten trick to just suddenly cancel it and make it disappear so people can't even watch at least the stuff that was already made. Yeah. So yeah, we still have new lower decks for a while because the production was all done on that before the strike began. So then, yeah, we'll see. It's been going on quite a while, since May, and it's still happening, so. Yeah, which means there's a few shows that got canceled because of it, which, again, kind of sucks. I don't know if it was because of the strike or not, but there was a new Batman show called Gotham Knights, which was like Batman's adopted son, sort of taking up the mantle. And yeah, we were quite enjoying it. And unfortunately, after the 1 season, they canceled it. So, because yeah, we really enjoyed Gotham. That was when they finished a few years ago, but it was young Batman before he was Batman. Yeah, so young Bruce Wayne, and yeah, we really liked it. So that one at least had a satisfying conclusion. It went 5 seasons, I think, and yeah, it was. In fact, we got it on DVD so we could watch it again because, yeah, it was fun. I hadn't read the comics, but my sister-in-law, she watched it too, and she said, yeah, there was quite a lot of stuff that they followed the comics quite well. So, like B.D. Wong played Doctor Strange, and yeah, she showed us a picture from the comic, and yeah, they did so well. The costuming and everything was just duplicated it from the comics like perfectly. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't hurt that he's an excellent actor too. Okay. Yeah, so saying how I didn't have a working car at the moment. Yeah, so my son had to chauffeur me around to run errands, but yeah, he didn't mind because the novelty of driving has not worn off yet. He only got his license a few months ago, so yeah. Okay, so I could decide to carry that one all the way down that edge and back up again, but I think I may actually use two threads. So one that comes from this side and one that comes from the other side because of the way it splits off for a bit, so we'll see. Oh, that's a knot there. There we go. Today I remembered to put my water bottle within reach so I don't get dehydrated like last time. Yeah, so not probably next session, but next month we're going to get back into some more flowers and detail work on this wall here, so that should be interesting, hopefully. I apologize if my water machine is being really loud today. Well, it keeps the water cold, so it's got to run like a fridge, and yeah, it's noisy. Ugh. My old fridge was really noisy too. It sounded like a fairy when it kicked on. Yeah. But I was cheap, so we didn't replace it until it was like done. Yeah, it was when I went to get some frozen yogurt and I went to scoop it out, and the scoop went through it way too easily, and I was like, okay, I think it's finally dying. We better get the new one before we lose all our food. Yeah. But yeah, that fridge was, I don't even know how old, because it came with the house, and we bought it in 2006, and it was not new then, so I mean, who knows even how old it was. Okay. So like I said, couldn't go for my walk, but I did do my exercise today, so yeah, got my steps in on my machine. But yeah, it's so much nicer to walk outside when you can, especially since, yeah, it's going to be winter before we know it, and way too cold to do that. Yeah, my husband said it was even worse, the airport. He drove to the next big city to fly out from there because we do have a small little airport here, but it's way more expensive. So yeah, it's actually cheaper for him to drive to the next city and then fly out from there than it is to fly from here. Yeah, I was on that plane once to go to Calgary, and it's, yeah, I made jokes about them using a rubber band for the propeller because, yeah, it's old and didn't even have a proper bathroom. It was like an outhouse kind of thing, so yeah, it's not nice. Ugh. They said hand sanitizer. They didn't even have running water to wash your hands. Ugh. If I'd known, I would have just held it. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, so maybe 20.5%. Maybe not, we'll see. But I don't think 21% is happening. Yeah, if I hadn't had the apples to deal with, probably I would have made it to 21%. But oh well. There, so that from the one side. This one I'm going to carry from the other side. Okay. Okay, 6, 4, 8. So yeah, like I said, occasionally this ends up closing a stitch in. I usually like to have it only have 2 sides surrounding the stitch, and this has 3, but I don't worry that much. Every now and then it will happen if I change the direction of my stitching, and I'm not that finicky about it. Okay. Okay, 2. That's good. We don't want knots. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more rows, and then I think that's where I'm going to take a break. Well, the water machine stopped just for the furnace to start. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's where I'm going to take a break today. Had got quite a lot done, almost 300, so yeah, I'm happy with that. As usual, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you here again another time. But thanks, everyone. Bye.